What is going on, 5'9 gamers? It's Minato here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Year 7 Dual Dokkan Fest with the LR Super Saiyan Gods and the LR Super Saiyan 4s. This is a highly anticipated banner for both, sides. If you're a Gods fan, if you're a Monkey fan, right? And the global player base has been very excited for these banners. I could definitely tell that. So today we're going to be breaking down these banners for you and basically giving our thoughts on which banner you should probably summon on, objectively speaking, of course. And I am joined by none other than Vilify today, so say hello to the 5'9 gamers, man.
Hello, 5'9 gamers. I am here with Minato. We're going to be talking all about two of the best banners that we have ever seen and which one you should summon on. Stay tuned to hear our thoughts and more.
First off, the banner I'm going to bring up would be the LR Super Saiyan God Goku and Super Saiyan God Vegeta banner. So, as the title suggests for that banner, the LR Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta, which transforms into Blue Goku and Vegeta, are the main headlighting unit for this banner. They are arguably the best unit in the game next to the LR Super Saiyan 4s. Just an incredible unit, incredible design, right? I mean, that's obviously the main drawing point for this banner, no matter what, right? No matter what the rest of the units are, these are who you want. We have STR base from Broly coming up after him, which is a new banner unit. Then the rest of the units are previously existing units. AGL Full Power Frieza, AGL UI Goku, Physical Buu Gotenks, STR Gogeta Blue, Tech Vegeta Blue, both from the 5-year anniversary. The 3rd year Physical Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, the Angel version was transformed into Super Gogeta. Int Super Saiyan 2 Angel Goku, and then Tech Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, which were from the New Year's 2020 celebration. So that's in total wraps up the LR Gods banner specifically. But of course we also have the LR Super Saiyan 4 banner, which is the Dokkan Fest banner rivaling this one.
Correct. Now, this is where the dilemma comes from, where it's like, oh, who should I summon for? Because both these banners are very good. And basically this one kind of becomes the opposite of the banner that Minato just described for you. So our headlining unit is the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Gogeta. Our banner unit is the Tech Sin Shenron. He stays Sin Shenron, no Omega in the celebration. Very sad news, aside from the Easy A, but that's a separate video. Int Namek Goku, the LR. The, Int Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta, STR Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, the 4-year anniversary LRs, Int Vegito from the 3-year anniversary, and then the GT Duo units that came from Golden Week of 2021, that being Physical Super Saiyan Goku and Physical Super Saiyan Vegeta.
Int Super Saiyan Vegeta.
What did I say?
You said physical.
Did I say? Yeah, so Int Super Saiyan Vegeta from GT, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, it's all fine. But yeah, those in title, those are just both the banners, right? And we're going to go by, compare each unit side by side on each banner and kind of talk about overall which banner has the most value, because I feel like a lot of these units came out together, like, Super Saiyan 4s, Namek Goku and Frieza, the 3-year LRs, right? Vegeta Blue Tank. So we're going to give our thoughts on each of these. So first off, starting with me, of course, I'm just going to talk about the Super Saiyan 4s versus the Gods. I think that at the end of the day, they're very close in power, and they're just well above like every other unit in the game in terms of power, right? Like, it's incredible. Like, when you actually use these units, you will tell in game how powerful they are. Even at 55%, they clear the rest of the game. It's absolutely insane how much of a power jump these guys have. And obviously very important for the red zone, right? Red zone is a very difficult stage, but the Gods and the Super Saiyan 4s are just that strong. Now, you're going to have a personal preference to which one's better. I feel like a majority of the community thinks the Super Saiyan 4s are better. I personally and some other people think the Gods are better though, right? So it's all up to personal opinion. I think that they're just strong enough that it's like, okay, no matter who you summon on between these two, you're going to get a unit that destroys the rest of the game anyway. So it doesn't necessarily matter that much, right?
Right. The Super Saiyan 4 is, in my experience on the JP side, I'm sure you run into this as well, but it is much rarer to come across a Rainbow God friend lead than it is a Rainbow Super Saiyan 4 friend lead. So it just kind of goes to show you who most of the community summon for more of.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. I do see a lot of more Rainbow Super Saiyan 4s. especially because it's the first Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, so I'm sure
Right.
that it may be similar showing on the global player base, just to keep that in mind for us Gods fans, right?
Yeah, I know somebody. He's someone in 5'9" that has the Rainbow Gods, but he doesn't have him as his friend support for some reason. You know, it's just Tech Gohan. I don't know. It's weird.
Tech Gohan's pretty good, but
That is true. Okay. So, Minato mentioned that, we were kind of comparing units from both banners against each other. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about the banner units and which one is better. Now, Minato had the fun of saying that these units are basically 1A and 1B, but in my case, this one is objective, in my opinion, when it comes to Texan Shenron and STR Broly. Now, Texan Shenron is just going to look way better across the board. He's got a much better linking partner with the EZA Physical Omega Shenron. Broly just doesn't really have that up-to-date linking partner that really works like fantastically for him at this point in my experience using him, and I have him Rainbow, by the way. So it's like I've used him enough just to kind of see like what kind of defense I can make for him, and it just doesn't happen. Texan Shenron, just like he's a little bit orb dependent, but he it's not a problem for him. And the teams he works on with the GT Boss team is just, it works out really well. Just having a link partner like Omega Shenron is valuable within itself, and this is a unit like on a team that just doesn't have many buffs whatsoever. So this is a top tier unit on that category of GT bosses. Both these units only have 3 categories, so they're not the best in the world, but if you do pull them, I guess it is a buff for those teams in some way. But Texan Shenron, I would definitely be more excited to pull than STR Broly.
and I would agree with that. Poor STR Broly,
Yeah.
he just is a little underwhelming, and Sin Shenron not only helps himself with the orb restrictions by changing orbs, he just does better numbers than Broly because of his link set, and that's
Right.
the unfortunate truth. But I would say, yeah, like you said, it's pretty clear between those two which ones are better in my opinion. Now, getting on to one that I feel like is not so clear right now, LR Full Power Frieza, and then LR Namegoku. So this is actually the first time both of these units are returning on the global version. 11 months. It's pretty crazy that these units don't return for 11 months. That's
Right.
I don't know what they're thinking with that, right? But in terms of which of these two units are better, I'd say it is a little unfair to Namegoku right now because he does not have a 200% leader skill yet. But I think right now Full Power Frieza is still better, even though Namegoku has the the extreme class advantage with the red zone being the hardest fight. Full Power Frieza just still right now, his linking partners are still pretty solid, and while they're not like 100% red zone guaranteed to be like amazing, supreme in the red zone, right? They're still pretty good options for the red zone. He still destroys Super Battle Road. He's done a lot of these recent Super Battle Road stages that are pretty difficult, like Wicked Bloodline. We had a Terrifying Conqueror stage recently, right? Well, Namegoku hasn't really had that, and most of Namegoku's really strong, like, mega linking partners aren't necessarily the best, right? He has some really strong linking partners, but he himself, it just, until he gets that 200%, it's just Frieza having that 200% even under the Ginyu leader skill, which doesn't really work the best for him. I think that just gives him the edge. We'll see how Namegoku looks once he does get his 200% though, but personally, I think Frieza right now is just the better option.
Right. One thing you gotta remember too with the Namegoku is that if he has the advantage of that getting hit and getting the additional super, where he, that 12 key raises defense rather with Frieza, you have to get the 18 key, or otherwise you might be in trouble. But other than that, I definitely agree that Frieza he puts up more impressive numbers and has that access to 200% leader skill, so it is close there. All right, so moving on to the next portion here, we've got the battle of the 6-year LRs. Now this one, it's kind of funny that both of these that we've looked at, I think it's just one is objectively better than the other. We have UI Goku versus Evolution Blue Vegeta. Now, I feel like, we kind of know everything that we need to know about these two, but UI Goku, just with that dodge chance, and especially in more difficult content, is just going to take the crown over Vegeta, just because Vegeta, yeah, sure, he builds up damage reduction with each hit he takes, but especially in the red zone, if you take all those hits, you're not going to make it out of that turn anyway, so getting the revive condition for them, it's just going to be tough in the red zone. But UI Goku, just more value across the game with that dodge chance. The only time he really gets caught is when the enemy disables dodge. Unfortunately, sometimes you're going to take a super when he does have his dodge chance, but it is 70% at the end of the day. I would run with that more than I would run with, a unit that has 3 dodge on it or something like that. So UI Goku would definitely go into the advantage. So far, a lot of the units are stacking towards the God Duo banner, but there are a couple things coming up that might sway you to the other side.
Yeah, and I would say one thing about UI Goku to keep in mind is even though the hardest event in the boss does disable dodge, which is Broly, UI Goku is pretty much good in every single other fight except for 13 actually, who also disables dodge. But like against Red Zone Omega, this UI Goku could dodge Red Zone Omega's like ultimate super attack, right? The countdown super, and that just with a 70% chance, that is so reliable no matter what people would think, right? Although his defense itself has aged a little, I think that it's definitely more better than Vegeta's right now, even under Vegeta's 200% leader skill.
Right, and UI Goku just got one recently with the Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Vegeta that came out on JP, so that is cool.
Yep, that's exactly true. So, yeah, speaking on to, some more units, one that isn't actually on a 200% yet, and one that is, Physical Boo Tanks versus STR Super Vegeta. Now, I feel like this one is a little controversial. I think a lot of people still really like the STR Super Vegeta unit. I think, me personally, once these really harder Red Zone stages came out, like Rildo, Baby, right, even like Cooler, right? STR Vegeta's defense, once he's transformed, you could really feel the defensive drop, unfortunately. And, I personally use the Boo Tanks team in some of these harder Red Zone bosses, such as, I know I've used it against the Shadow Dragon Saga team. I know some people may have used it against, I think one person did the Boo team against Omega Shenron, actually, right? Because there's all the int phases, right?
Right.
So there is some, places you can use Boo Tanks that feel more effectively than STR Vegeta. Well, this one is a lot more closer, I feel like. I would personally give the edge to Boo Tanks right now, and he doesn't even have a 200% leader skill yet, right? I think one big thing that carries Boo Tanks, though, is STR Kid Boo. Having a linking partner like him is very, very wild. You just need to wait a few turns to get that big bad bosses linked together with them, right?
Right, yeah, because especially when you get into Buhan, you do see like a dramatic difference. It is pretty noticeable. Like this with the just big bad bosses is just such a valuable link. That's why it's such a pain when you see a unit that has both big bad bosses and you gotta do the link level grind for it. It's like, oh, I have to do this one now, or I won't see him be as good as he can be, right?
Yeah, that's definitely true, right? Gotta get that level 10 link big bad bosses, but speaking of their pure peak performance, I would give the slight edge to Buhan right now, just in how the game currently is constructed, right?
I think that makes a lot of sense. So I think for this next round here, let's go ahead and kind of combine the two LRs at the same time as we're doing this. We have the 4-year anniversary LRs versus the 5-year anniversary LRs. So on paper,
let's be real, fine. Come on.
Hey, hold on.
Come on.
What? You don't want me to compare them, or you want me to? What's going on here?
No, I'm just saying. We know the year 4s are better than year 5s.
All right, well, we got to talk about it, right? That's what we're doing. We're breaking them down. So, in part 1, if you have no clue, you might say like, oh, I like the year 5s better. But we get to that part EX, and all of a sudden, these two EZA, it's not even close anymore, right? Like, it's the year 4 LRs are just objectively better. It's not even close to a debate. Goku can spit out a 10 million attack stat turn 1, linked up with the 7-year LR. It's like, yeah, real quick, we'll just run through that. 4 years way better, and there's only one competition left. We'll let Minato take that one.
Well, yeah. I just want to point out, it's like I feel like a lot of people know at this point that LR Super Saiyan 4s are going to EZA during the EX part.
You never know.
And I think that even before their EZA.
It was
with
still
the
close.
LR Super Saiyan 4s, they were still probably better. Yeah. I don't even know if I would say close, right? The gods just did not age the best, unfortunately. Year 5s, right? Still usable, but that's the best I would give them. Usable, right?
Yep.
Now we're gonna talk about. There's a couple more units still, I think, that are more relevant to talk about. We have Int Vegito versus Physical Gogeta, the 3-year EZAs. Now, I would say with their EZA, on paper you could look at them, and they look pretty similar, right? You would think that they're even more or less, but once you really use the units and really look deep into their details, I feel like Vegito does take the cake right here. For the LR Super Saiyan 4 banners, Vegito has a much higher defensive stat, so he's able to really combat better in his base form for these red zone bosses, because unfortunately I feel like their pre-transform states are a little undertuned, so
Yeah.
they could still take a lot of damage in these very high-end red zone bosses, but Vegeta would do much better. Now, on top of that, we do have the post-transformation states that I feel like we have to keep in mind as well. And Vegeta with his counters and the damage reduction, I think is better than Gogeta with his... Because the weird thing about physical Gogeta, he has the crits, but he's also super effective. So it's
Right.
like the crits don't even matter. The dodge is probably not as good as the the damage reduction, because damage reduction you will always have. There's no enemy that disables that. There's enemies that disable dodge, which again, Red Zone Broly is a unit that disables dodge like that. And the counters just allow Vegeta to do so much more damage that not only does he have a higher defensive stat with damage reduction, he has the counter, so he's doing more damage. It's just unfair to the Gogeta, unfortunately.
Yeah, we kind of knew, right, that it was like they're gonna have to like completely redo Gogeta for him to be even close to our boy Vegito, and unfortunately they did not do that. So it's yeah, definitely in the favor of Vegito on this case. So for this next one, do you kind of want to do one by one, or do you just want to kind of look at both the TURs in the bigger picture?
I would say we can look at both of them in the bigger picture, and I'll let you handle that.
All right, so this one, it should be pretty obvious just because the times they released, right? This isn't going to be like the last discussion that we had where it's like, oh, the 4 years might have been better right away. But we have the Golden Week 2021 units versus the New Year's 2020 units. So GT, Goku, and Vegeta, just overall better offense, better defense. Goku has, they both have access to 200% leader skills now, right?
Yep, I think they do.
Yeah, so... it's Goku is on a, I think the the Super Saiyan 4 leader skill is a little bit better than Majin Vegeta's, I'd say. I don't know if it's particularly close. And
just a tiny bit.
just a tiny bit, right? And the physical Goku is on that team, so he'll fit in nicely. He's a Rainbow Orb changer for a unit like the Super Saiyan 4s, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, all of those units, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, all of those units can use the Rainbow Orbs. Even if you want to run Tech Gogeta on that team, it's still more Rainbow Orbs, the better, right? Rainbow Orb changers are just so valuable, and both these guys do that. And quite the opposite with the Super Saiyan 2 units, where they are required. They need all these orbs, and it is tough to get them sometimes when you don't have a Rainbow Orb changer running around. So I'd say that it's particularly not close at this point, but I guess maybe in the future, if we want to look at it this way, I guess they're closer to an ECA than the Golden Week units. So, yeah, I would say if you're looking for the TURs, then the Super Saiyan 4 banner is the one to summon on. But otherwise, I think it's still up in the air here. But we'll give you a closer verdict here as we move on.
I mean, yeah. So basically, just to go back and forth between each of these units, I would say overall, the Super Saiyan 4s do have overall the superior units on the banner, right? Because they have the Year 4s, Vegito, the Goku, and then the Vegeta and Sin Shenron. So that's in total 6 of the units that are featured, and I believe there's a total of 10 featured units. So that does slightly give the edge overall to the Super Saiyan 4 banner, and even more so if you think the Super Saiyan 4s are better than the gods. In your opinion, that would be 7 out of 73, right?
Yeah.
So overall, the Super Saiyan 4 banner seems like it'd be more worth your stones. But at the end of the day, both of the banners do have some pretty useful options. And I feel like if you really like the gods, for example, it doesn't hurt to go for it either.
Right. I definitely agree with you on that. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter which one you choose, but in the sake of this video, we are trying to give you the most responsible option here, just to kind of give you like the most value for your stones. On the Super Saiyan 4 banner, there are 3 LR EZAs, so it is it's something that we haven't seen before. So it is it's tough to say, yeah, right? But it comes down to preference. Sorry.
Especially considering if you don't have any of these units, I think
Right.
the Super Saiyan 4 banner also has a more concrete team, because you get the Super Saiyan 4s, the LR Super Saiyan 4s, the GT Duo as well. They all fit together on the one team and all work together very nicely. Whilst the Gods doesn't really have the banner like that, because the units on the Gods banner don't really fit their leader skill besides the Year 5s, which again, the Year 5s are solid, but until they get an easy or something, they're not anything I'd say is to write home about, right? So yeah, that is basically our verdict right there. The LR Super Saiyan 4 banner does win overall, but let us know who you guys are going to summon for in the comments below. I'm very excited to read what your guys' thoughts will be on these banners overall. Thank you all for watching till the end. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe the video and the channel. I said that a little weird, but feel free to go ahead and do all those things. We would very much appreciate it, and thank you all for your support. So, anything last to add, Vilified, before we sign off here?
No, I think you covered everything that we need to talk about. Have fun summoning for these two. You cannot go wrong with either banner.
I would agree there. Well, from me, Natto here, and Vilify, we'll catch you all in the next Final Gaming video. Peace out.